Hey everyone, Zach here. Welcome to day number 3 of the 6 rules for retention in your MLM team. Now, if you haven't watched the first few videos, I want you to go back and watch those right now. Watch the first video on creating unity. That's the umbrella knowledge that you need to do this right. Then go watch video number 1 and number 2, and then come here. So today we're going to talk about rule number 3 of the 6 rules for retention in your MLM team, and this one is called don't embarrass your upline or a bigger rank than you or a bigger pin than you, okay? Now, when I first say that, it sounds kind of weird, doesn't it? Don't embarrass someone in your team. It almost sounds like a fraternity or something that like you can't do this to this person, but you can do it to that person. That's not the point at all. That's not the way this works. What I'm showing you how to do is how to create leadership in your team. Now, leadership, as we talked about in video number 1, requires responsibility in your relationships. There's a big difference between the pizza delivery driver and his rank and the person that owns Domino's. Don't you think they probably treat the relationships a little bit differently? Of course they do. You have to do the same thing. So realize that this isn't coming from a place of control. This is coming from a place of intelligence and creating unity within your team, because unity is retention. Sound good? All right, so what do I mean by this? Well, let's just pretend that you're at an event. I'll give you a real life example. You know, me and my sponsor, my upline, he's one of the biggest earners in our company. We have a really good relationship to the point where we joke around all the time. Like as guys, we make fun of each other all the time. When it's me and Ashley and him and someone else, we're always cutting up, always having jokes, and it's usually hilarious. And I'm making fun of him just as hard as he's making fun of me. But in a public setting, I'm not doing that, and he's not doing it to me. Why? Because if I make fun of him and make him look stupid, if it's just us, who cares? But if it's us plus a huge group of people, and they all happen to be on his team, or some of them happen to be on his team, what does that say about him if his own downline, one of his most, I don't know, it doesn't even matter if I'm visible or not, but if I'm just one of his guys, just one of his downline, what does it say about him if I go and embarrass him in front of a group of people? Let me give you an example. Let's say we're all at a pool thing, like a pool party or whatever. Right? We're all at a party and there's a pool. And we're all standing there and he's by the pool, and I come up behind him and I push him in the pool. Now, obviously that would be hilarious, right? And I would love to do that. And if it was just us, I probably would. But if there's a bunch of people there, I probably wouldn't, because let's just think about this from a different perspective. Let's say I come up and I push him in the pool. Regardless of how I'm viewed in the business, whether I'm a nobody or a big dude, I throw him in the pool. Guess who's probably watching? Other people. Well, let's just pretend that somebody that is watching is just a guy in the business that maybe doesn't have that close of a relationship with my upline. Maybe he really, really looks up to him, and he sees him as a guy that he can just kind of chase after and wants to win his respect. And if he sees me kind of degrading my upline by doing that, guess what that new guy or whoever that is, how does he view how to treat his upline relationship? Does he treat it with respect and kind of have some luster on it? Or does he treat it just like he would treat his frat brothers? You see what I'm saying? He treats it like he would treat his frat brothers. Now, that might not be that big of a deal until you think of the fact that, do you generally listen from being a coach? Do you listen to a coach that you highly respect and kind of want to impress? Or do you listen to a coach that you just kind of view as like your buddy? Right? You listen to the person that you almost not put on a pedestal, but there's this level of luster that you try not to diminish too much, because you want to take their coaching and actually apply it. So I'm not going to embarrass my upline because it could hurt his influence with his team. That's number 1. Number 2 is the more I embarrass him, the less luster that relationship has and the less effectiveness his coaching has. Now, if I selected him as a coach, I want what he's got, so I'm willing to do the things that he coaches me on in most cases. Doesn't mean I'm not going to run it through a brain cell, but I am going to probably take that coaching. So I'm more likely to take it if I have a little bit of separation, a little bit of comfortability separation between us. I'm not saying we can't be good friends and do all the fun friend things, but if this is a professional relationship, I need a little bit of that separation there. And if you don't embarrass people, that helps keep it there. By the way, embarrassing people in general is not a good thing, right? It's not going to add any value to any relationship if you literally embarrass someone. Now, the same rule applies to bigger ranks. So cross-line people that are bigger ranks than me, I'm going to do the exact same thing to them because of the exact same reasons I just gave. Does that make sense? Okay, cool. So rule number 3 is don't embarrass an upline or a bigger pin or a bigger rank in your team. Sound good? All right, hopefully this made sense. If this did make sense to you and you found value in this, do me a favor, hit the like button, hit subscribe, and leave a comment down below. Let me know what you learned. Secondly, I want you to go to the MLM Sales Funnels group. That's MLMSalesFunnels.com. It's a private discussion group where we talk about these tactics and using funnels to build your network marketing team. And lastly, I want you to go read the MLM Rebels Blueprint. The link is down below. That blueprint is a step-by-step walkthrough telling you how we do what we do to recruit more people in some days and weeks than some people do literally all year long. And not some people, but like good recruiters. So that's MLMRebelsBlueprint.com. So anyway, hopefully this made sense to you. Appreciate you, and see y'all in the next video.